Welcome to Life for Dummies. This is Ashley.
And Cindy. And we're real dumb. So you know what I think we should talk about today?
What?
I think we should talk about emotional vampires.
Oh my... What? What is that?
An emotional vampire is someone who literally sucks the life force out of you.
Oh my gosh, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, like they drain you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Like when you spend time with this person, like you're just done. Like you have nothing left to give.
Oh man, that sounds miserable. I have been that person in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have.
Yeah, and I have had those people in my life too.
Yeah, and it's exhausting.
Oh man, what a good phrase, Cindy. We should add that to the dictionary.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna make a submission to Webster and then also to Urban Dictionary.
Oh my God, I didn't know you could add things to Urban.
I mean, I don't know if you can, but I'm gonna try. I mean, can you?
I don't know.
I'm gonna find out. I'll let you know.
Oh my gosh, emotional vampire. Holy cow. Well, all right, let's dissect it a little bit. Why don't you help us understand a little bit better what you mean?
Well, what I mean is, someone that I consider an emotional vampire is someone who is absorbed with self-obsession, like a raging self-obsession. So they're self-centered. Everything revolves around them, what they need, what they want, and like when you are with them, it's just exhausting.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, and the thing is that like when I was in active addiction before I got clean, I was definitely one of those people. Like I had raging self-obsession. Everything was about me, what I needed, what I wanted, what I could get from you. And like, I mean, I was exhausted all the time. So, I mean, I can only imagine like that energy that I was putting onto other people.
Wow, that's really interesting. How you talked about you were like this when you were in active addiction, right? Like for me, I clung to people for sure. I don't know if I realized that I was like sucking the life out of them, but I always like had the same people in my life that I would dump everything on and then not really be there for them in return.
Yeah, there's like no reciprocation, like so in my life today, like when I'm friends with somebody, it's a two-way street. Like there's give and take. We give, we receive, and like we are a part of each other's life. And I want to know about all the good stuff, and I don't want to just be dumped on when something bad is happening in your life. That's like another form of someone being an emotional vampire, right? Like they just, when things are terrible, that's when they want to talk to you. That's when they want to dump the load on you like you're a garbage can. And then they're like, okay, thanks, I feel better. And then I'm left with like, what the do I do with all this stuff? Like it's heavy and it drains you and it's just like exhausting.
See, there are healthy outlets for that kind of misery, right? And then also there are ways of change so that we don't invite that misery into our lives all the time. It's just a matter of recognizing that we're doing it. For example, like I didn't know I was being this emotional vampire to all of these people because I was in such denial that I was so self-centered.
Yeah, and it's just another form of like being honestly sick. Like it is a sick place to be in your own mind when you are like the most important person in the entire world. And it's just exhausting too for yourself, and it's not fun for anyone to be around you when you're like that. Like, and that's why I think I was alone so much, is because who wants to put up with that crap?
Yeah, no, I understand. And then also, like, what is weird about it is that I, first of all, didn't even realize I was like sucking the life out of, these poor victims. And then also, like, I thought I was kind, caring, and like a loving individual. But it was because I was only kind to people who I wanted to manipulate or who I wanted really still to manipulate to be in my life relationally.
Yeah, because you were getting something in return.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and today my life is totally different, not like that. Like, I consider myself a very kind, loving, caring, genuinely like kind person, right? And it took a long time to get here and for everything to not be about me all the time. And I have found like the best way to like get out of self-obsession is to be kind and be there for someone else. Do acts of service for other people and not think about myself all the time.
That's so interesting. And also, like, if I were to add just one thing, like maybe just realize that even if I'm thinking of other people, am I wanting to manipulate them? Because like self-obsession and wanting to manipulate are like go hand in hand.
Oh, they definitely go hand in hand. Like, am I doing something out of the kindness of my heart, not expecting anything in return? If the answer is yes, then I'm not acting in self obsession. If I am doing something because I am manipulating you because I want something from you, then it's all about the raging self obsession, self centeredness, manipulation. It's all about that really sick behavior where I'm getting something from you, I'm using you. And that's what it comes down to. You're using people.
And like, life beyond just this, use, misuse, abuse is so much better and so worth the effort of climbing out of that misery.
Yeah. Life is so beautiful today, literally. Like, to say that I'm happy, joyous, and free is an understatement. Like, I never thought in a million years that my life would look the way that it looks today. And all I had to do was get out of my own damn way.
Yes, exactly. And like also give myself a break and realize that I don't have all of the answers.
You don't? Yeah, I literally, for a long time, I was like, I know nothing. I don't know. I don't know how to live life. I don't know how to do this. And I'm going to find somebody who has the kind of life I want. And I'm going to ask them to give me direct directions and like specific directions. Like, this is what you need to do to get A, B, and C. You got to do X, Y, and Z. Like, you got to do something different.
Yeah, and like I didn't even know for a long time that I was so miserable and I didn't know that I needed to change so much. And it wasn't honestly until I stepped out of that denial and things got bad enough where I started to finally not only be made aware, but I became self aware and self honest, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I like to call that the how, the
Oh,
honesty, the open mindedness, and the willingness. So if I have all of those things, if I have how in my life and I'm honest and I'm open minded and I'm willing to do something completely different, then I'm going to get something completely different. And my life is going to change for the better because I'm going to change my perception by doing this. And in turn, I can change my life.
yeah, like, when I was this emotional vampire, as we're calling it, like, I used to think that if I had this person, I would be happy. If I was in a relationship with that person, I would be happy. Or if I had that job, I would be happy. And everything was about me. But when I stopped just thinking about how I can manipulate people, places, and things, and I started to discover that I was miserable, then I became willing to do something different. That how you talk about.
Yeah. And here's the thing like, you know, when I am in this self centered, self obsession, being an emotional vampire, like I want outside things to fill the void that I feel inside. I want people to fill the void. I want money. I want objects. I want, a new purse, new sunglasses. I want all kinds of things to make me feel better, to give me instant gratification, instead of doing what I really need to do in order to give myself the happiness that I so seek and want for real, it has nothing to do with objects or people. It has to do with how I feel about myself, how I'm treating myself, and how I'm treating other people.
Yeah, and I didn't even slow down long enough to like realize it. And people around me would be like, "Slow down." Like the world is not going to end if you don't fit all these activities quickly into your day. And what's really funny about it is that I was highly unproductive because all of these things that I made up in my mind that I had to do were complete fantasy, like they were made up. So I didn't have to do any of them. And if I had just kind of like slowed down and let myself experience more peace and relaxation, then the things meant for me would come.
Yeah, I love that. I am a big believer in like stopping and smelling the roses, so to speak, and like just slowing my life down and like taking time and making time for what's important, right? And that's something I truly believe in. Like we make time for what is important. And when we're doing the next right thing, the next right thing happens. If I'm doing the footwork, then the next right thing is going to happen for me. The things that are supposed to come to me, they will. If I am filling my time with things that are unnecessary just to stay busy so I don't have to feel my feelings and deal with myself, I am the most unproductive version of myself ever.